B&A Global Podcast is where the business meets network and India becomes your next destination. Can we know who is Advocate Rani Nalwa? What is your journey?
And my journey in the legal profession has been inspired by my own.
First, we would like to understand as foreigners, what is the legal system in India, where it comes from, how it is, how different it is.
The legal system is basically, in simple terms, a three-tier legal system in India.
Okay. Everything is digital in a portal?
Yes.
That's amazing. So it makes it very unique.
Yes, we are digital India.
Now digital India, 100%, and then we live it, we believe it.
Yeah.
The first and the most important point for us is a foreign entity. We want to enter Indian market. So how many options I have? Hello and welcome to B&A Global Podcast. I am Halima, your host, coming to you from Bangalore. And B&A Global Podcast is where the business meets network and India becomes your next destination. And today we have a very dear friend and one of the most expertise in her industry, Advocate Rani Nalwa from Bangalore. She's the founder of IPR Junction. With the 2 decades of expertise, she's helping the Indian clients as well as the foreigner clients to make sure they are legally secured in India. Today, we have one of the most asked topic to me personally by a lot of foreigner clients and companies. It's about the incorporation, a legal entity in India. And this topic is very crucial when you're stepping into Indian market. And first, we would like to know our dear friend, Rani Nalwa from Bangalore. Welcome to our podcast, and it's really an honor to have you here. Can we know who is Advocate Rani Nalwa? What is your journey? How is your journey?
First of all, thank you, Halima, for inviting me. I'm honored to be here. I'm an advocate, like you said, and my journey in the legal profession has been inspired by my own father, who's a member of parliament here in India. And amazing. He's the one who told me that law is the domain of the wise.
Wow. Hats off to him.
Yes. And it is beyond the limitation of gender. So that's where I got my wings in the legal field.
That's amazing.
And that's how I was attracted to it, did my law degree, practiced for 5 years in Delhi first, and then married and settled in Bangalore and started off on my own.
Oh, lovely. And how long are you doing and when IPR Junction started? What was the mission behind IPR Junction?
I started in 2007 and the idea was first to get myself self-employed and self-empowered. That was the idea. And I wanted to create a space for my clients where they could come to one office and have all their IPR related needs fulfilled. For example, registration of IPR, their litigation, how to capitalize on it through licensing, through an assignment, sale.
Wow.
So that was my idea.
So that makes you a junction, really, for any IPR requirements.
Yes.
So everybody can come to you as a one full package with 20 plus years experience in this industry. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the other litigations you are a part? I mean, what other legal aspects, legal expertise you have that we can reach you out when we need your help?
So during the course of my profession and with the confidence given by my clients, little by little, I started, doing different kind of roles for them. They would come and ask me, can you incorporate a company for me? Can you draft a contract for me? Can you review a contract? We are having this commercial litigation. Can you represent us? So with passage of time, now IPR Junction is a full service law firm and we help business people, for startups as well, to incorporate a company in India, comply with them, handhold them throughout their business journey. That is one part. Any kind of commercial litigation, NCLT, IBC matters, we do that as well. And family matters, another civil and criminal litigation.
That's important, very important. So you're literally a full package for us.
Yes.
So as you know, this podcast is all about, a foreign enterprises, entrepreneurs, or foreign clients and companies who would like to really understand India, and even entering to India is one level, but then taking it forward and carrying on their business in India safely and securely. So we need you in every level.
Yes.
But obviously, the most important and crucial part is, first, we would like to understand as foreigners, what is the legal system in India, where it comes from, how it is, how different it is, how there's 28 states. So it is very challenging for us to understand and have a roadmap on that. Can you just simplify it with few sentences to us so we, as foreigners, we can understand the system in India?
See, especially with foreign investments, there are different vehicles available. For instance, an LLP can be incorporated. A private limited company can be incorporated.
Okay.
And then for these, we have two levels of legislature. One is at the central level, where the incorporation takes place. And another is at the state level, where compliances with regards to taxes and labor laws, etc. gets. The legal system is basically, in simple terms, a 3-tier legal system in India.
Okay.
So one we have at the district level, which would also include commercial courts and tribunals.
Okay.
At the state level, we have high courts. And at the national level, we have Supreme Court.
Okay, so 3 levels. So first, if I have any dispute here, my first target is, as a business owner, is going to be district court?
Yes.
Okay. What is a tribunal? Can you explain us a little bit?
Now, tribunals are specialized dispute resolution bodies focusing on a particular area.
Can you give some examples to make it more clear?
So, for instance, for tribunals, we have the income tax tribunal.
Okay.
Any kind of income tax dispute first gets referred to this tribunal. Thereafter, you can proceed to the High Court.
Okay, I got it. Lovely. And the district court?
Is the lowest level of litigation.
Lovely. Okay.
Yes.
And then High Court and then Supreme
Court. Yes.
Perfect. So this is the levels we can take in legal system. We have to understand hierarchy in this way. Okay.
Yes.
And is there an centralized law and acts, or there is state-wise regulations and acts as well, which we want to understand the legal law of India, because it's so diverse also as it's like its culture.
Yes.
So it's very hard to understand if we have a dispute in the employment law, for example. Then how many acts are there? Is it state-wise or is centralized legal system? Can we know a little bit about the acts also?
Yes. So there are certain acts, there are certain, let me say, domains where the central government is empowered to make laws.
Okay.
And the states get the power to make rules regarding that.
Okay.
So a company is incorporated under the Companies Act, which is passed by the parliament. It's at the central level.
Okay.
And the company is registered in every state by a registrar of companies.
State-wise?
State-wise.
Okay.
That's how it is. But when it comes to labor laws, each state has its own labor laws. So those have to be complied with. So depending on the subject matter, we have to figure out whether a central law is applicable or a state law is applicable.
Very interesting. And this makes, again, India very unique, if you ask to me. Because if I have one state, then I'm fine. But if I have a target of more than one states with my branches, then I have to be very careful with this point. And understand to recheck the state-wise regulations. Is there a lot of difference? As per your observation, when they say state-wise labor law,
what happens is the central government will have a guideline given, a model law given.
Okay.
And based on that, the state can make certain amendments by passing a law in its own legislative assembly.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it is.
Amazing. So, but definitely we need your support here.
Yes.
The law, advocates are very, very important in this level.
Yes.
And now I want to start the incorporation of a legal entity. The first and the most important point for us is a foreign entity. We want to enter Indian market. So how many options I have and which options is very advantageous for me as a foreigner to start with as a type of incorporation? First, I want to choose my type of corporation, and I'm not sure about that. So how do you guide us? How many options do we have?
Now, that would depend on what you want to do in India. Do you just want to have a branch office? Do you just want to have a licensing office?
Where I just want to see the market?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you just want to have an office for the purpose of completion of a project? A project
office. Lovely. True.
If you are more invested in the country, then you can opt for a private limited company. or an LLP, limited liability partnership.
So these are available options.
Yes.
Depends on our purpose.
Yes.
That's amazing. And can you just briefly compare what is the difference between a liaison office and a branch office? It sounds similar because?
Yes.
But what is the difference we would like to know very briefly?
The branch office is an extension of the foreign company.
Like a subsidy?
Not a subsidiary,
okay.
but just an extension. You have another office like in India, I would be incorporated in, say, Bangalore, but I have an office also in Delhi. I don't need to have a separate legal entity for that. It's a branch office there, which can interact with its customers, book orders, make supplies.
Oh, okay.
So that's a branch office, an extension of the principal company.
Okay, so that is applicable for a company which is in Paris.
Yes.
Can have a branch in any part of India.
Yes.
And then that is the called branch office here. Okay.
Yes. And a licensing office would be where you are communicating with your customers or suppliers in India.
Okay.
You're not booking orders here, but you want to still correspond with them, meet up with them. So that is the licensing.
Exploration. So there you cannot do commercial activities then. Okay. Understanding. And the other options, private limited and LLP.
And an LLP.
So what is LLP stands for?
It's limited liability partnership.
So what I understand, it's a partnership.
Yes.
With limited liabilities.
Yes.
So we need minimum how many partners? Two. And both of them can be foreigner?
They can be.
Both of them can be foreigner?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
And private limited company, can we understand the basic eligibility and the requirements for a private limited company?
Private limited company has to have minimum 2 shareholders and minimum 2 directors. There's no minimum capital requirement.
Okay, no minimum capital.
No.
So, but then how as there's no minimum and there's no maximum, so how
maximum is 7 or 200. I should check that. 7 or 2. No, that's the shareholder. Maximum directors.
Maximum shareholders are 200. That I know.
Yes. Okay. Directors, I'm not
7. I guess
7. I guess. If I'm not mistaken, 2 and 7.
But paid capital part.
Paid up capital is as per requirement of the business. There's something called authorized share capital.
Authorized share capital. Okay.
That is the initial amount that the company says, I'm going to invest in the country or in the business.
Okay. And is there a limit there, minimum limit?
No. Now it's not there.
What it was used to be?
It used to be 1 lakh before.
Okay. And now there's no...
Now there is no minimum requirement.
Okay. So what do you suggest, but for the foreigners?
I would say
there's no minimum, yes, but then they ask you, okay, what should we
that answer lies with the investor himself. He knows what business he is doing here, what capital investment is required for it. So that requirement will be the minimum authorized share capital as per me.
But what we want to understand from the compliance aspects, business plan and investment plan, according to that, definitely they have their planning. Yes. But for the compliance aspects, I want to know if there's no minimum authorized share capital. So what is the difference if I choose my authorized share capital as 1 lakh or 10 lakh or 1 crore? So is there any compliance level? Is there any difference when I'm finalizing my capital?
The amount of fees which has to be paid for incorporation of a company varies.
Okay.
That varies.
Makes sense.
Yes.
But it doesn't affect the business in long term if I choose very minimum at this stage and later on my business expense, and I can still change my...
You can increase your authorized share capital, yes.
Okay.
That is one way to do it. Another is financing. When new investment has to come into a business, it can either come as a debt or an equity.
Okay.
So you want to make a decision at that point in time, do you want to dilute that equity shareholding or not?
True.
That's where.
Thank you very much. It's amazing. And now I'm a foreigner again. We are focusing on foreigners, and I want to incorporate a private limited company. So what is the first step I have to do? Do I have to come to India to set up or incorporate a legal entity? That's one for question.
Your physical presence is not required, but for other compliance purposes, we need your KYC details.
KYC, okay.
KYC.
What is KYC stands for?
Personal identification details.
Okay.
Like citizen card.
Okay, like a passport?
Like
in
a
our
passport.
Case? Okay.
Visa.
Okay.
A passport is good for ID proof as well as for address proof.
If in my passport there's no address,
Then there will be some other government documentation which does mention it.
yes, there
That
must
would
be.
be the address.
But again, there also we have a lot of challenges because every country has a different system and style and documentation. And in some cases, there's a residence certificates, which is almost all over the world. Many governments
Okay.
make the system digital, like in India as well.
Yeah.
So the residence certificates is not accepted here.
A translation with the apostle would be?
Yes, but not even that document is not safe. What is, as per my experience, I saw it's requested by us that bank statements with your name and with your address proof or any bills is the safest in practical.
All right. Likewise, it's acceptable in India as well.
So that is why as it is accepted here. That's why we are requesting from our clients to get an electricity bill or telephone bill.
Okay.
Their name and address is mentioned or a bank statement.
Perfect.
Okay, the document's ready. Now the hardest question is coming. What makes that document legitimate and valid in India?
It has to be validated by the Indian embassy in the respective country.
For example, if it's an apostille country, then what they have to do is they have to go to their own notary, public notaries, get a sworn translator, get it translated to English if it's not English, and then go to apostille offices.
Even
Get
for
it apostille.
ordinary documentation, they will do it?
Any document.
All right.
Any document has to cross from this level.
Okay.
If they are not an apostille member, then there's another complex. There the embassies are curtailed. Yeah. Legalization. Like Malaysia.
Yeah.
Malaysia is not an apostille
country
member. It's not a Hajj Convention member.
Okay.
So what happens is, or Vietnam. So the legalization process goes in a different level. There, the respective embassies comes into picture for the legalization.
All right.
Along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
All right.
That's what I can say.
Yes.
So once apostille is done and it's translated by the sworn translator, that document is valid in India.
In India,
So which can be submitted for the KYC purpose.
Yes.
For applying for DIN number or digital signature.
Yes.
But if it is not a foreign person, but a foreign company,
then you need the certificate of incorporation of that foreign company.
Okay.
It's memorandum and articles of association, a board resolution from the company authorizing investment in India.
Okay.
And it's bank audited financials.
Financials.
Yes.
Okay. Again, the rule here is anything is foreigner.
Yes.
And it has to be used in India.
Yes.
The rule is same, I believe.
Yes.
It has to be translated to English. If it's in different languages.
Yes.
Get it notarized.
Yes.
And apostille and then use it in India.
Yes.
That is the biggest challenge.
Yes.
Which takes a lot of time when a foreigner wants to proceed with this incorporation.
Yes.
I guess this is the biggest challenge.
Yes.
Otherwise, a standard incorporation process of a private limited company, let's say.
Yes.
How much time it takes to complete an incorporation, to get my certificate of incorporation in my hand?
See, there's a process.
Okay.
First, you have to go through the name approval process.
Name approval.
Yes.
Okay.
The company of the name gets approved. Then
how hard it is?
Not hard. There are certain rules to be followed, certain words to be avoided. Beyond that, no other challenge. It gets approved. It takes few days. Okay. That's not a challenge at all. So once that gets done, we apply for the digital signatures for the foreign directors, shareholders. We apply for DIN number for them.
What is DIN number stands for?
Okay, director identification number.
Yes.
Each director must have it. So he is uniquely identified by the registry of corporate affairs.
So it's like a number dedicated to that person who becomes a director.
Yes.
So in every new company, maybe I have 10 companies.
So it will be used for you. Same number will be used in all companies.
Oh, that's very interesting. So it's kind of my unique number then.
Yes.
Okay.
For becoming a director in any Indian company.
Lovely. Okay.
Yes.
And is it like every year I have to renew or?
No, it just gets done.
Permanent.
Yes.
Once I get it.
Yes.
And what about digital signature? How is the process? Can you just briefly explain? That's again another challenge for us.
Okay. The digital signature is again a very simple procedure, an application to be filled in with know your customer details in it, which will have personal details, address, date of birth, and a photograph.
Yes.
So that's the process, and you pay a fee. It gets issued for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, depending on the type of digital signature we are applying for.
So it is like we have to renew it on regular basis.
It has to be renewed on a regular basis.
Okay, maybe that's because of to recheck, verify the KYC again and again. Is there a reason behind that?
It is given for a limited period of time. That's how it works.
Okay.
Because
the most interesting and experience I had when digital signature part, the video verification part.
yes,
So can you just, can you explain us a little bit about that part? The video verification,
Yes.
very simple process,
Yes.
I agree. And
Yes.
it's very well instructed
Yes.
by the authorities.
Yes.
But it is very challenge for us to understand and proceed it there. So there's a link we received
yes,
from the respective
authority. Yeah.
Yes. And then it says that video verification and follow the steps.
Yes.
So what we do is first we have to take the ID proof and address proof, which is submitted
Yes.
at the time of application.
Yes.
Has to be shown in the video.
Yes.
And then there's a number, a special code given for that special video.
Yes.
That we have to say that.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that the proofs, what is shown, the documents, has to be clearly
legible.
So don't take it quickly back and then, you have to take time.
Yes.
Enough time to make sure that it's read.
Yes.
Because that video is not an automation. It's going to be approved by a team member.
Yes.
So if you didn't do a proper video
You have to do it all
verification,
over again.
it will come as a rejection to you.
Yes.
So this is, again, very interesting experience we had. So that's what I wanted to give this information.
Yes.
So once we complete this,
Yes.
video verification is successfully submitted, then are we done with the digital signature? It's valid.
Yes.
It starts. Okay.
Yes.
So we got the DIN number.
Yes.
Which is director identification
Yes.
number. How many days it takes to get?
Few days.
Few days. And
Yes.
few days, we get the digital signature.
Yes.
Then what is our level?
You're set to now sign the incorporation documents, the article of association, the memorandum of association, the declarations which have to be filed.
Oh, then we are almost like ready digitally available in the system.
So
Okay.
once signed, all these documents get uploaded onto the website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Fees has to be paid, and then the process of scrutinizing the application happens.
Okay.
Where if documentation is correct, usually incorporation certificate follows. So
Lovely.
it's more time consuming to collate the documents
And drafts.
and draft the documents.
MOAs
Yes.
and
The other procedure then doesn't take as much time. A certificate of incorporation comes between 2 to 4 weeks.
So everything is digital in a portal?
Yes.
That's amazing. So it makes it very unique.
Yes, we are Digital India.
Now, Digital India, 100%. And then we live it, we believe it.
Yes.
We see it.
Yes.
And after we get the certificate of incorporation, so as per the law, are we an official company becoming, a
Yes.
company in India?
Yes, you're an official company. Based on that, you apply for a PAN card. Thereafter, you
What
get
does
a
PAN stands for?
permanent account number. The
Okay.
number is used for income tax purposes.
Okay.
So this is important because each company at the end of the financial year has to audit its account and upload these balance sheets on financial statements on the Ministry of Corporate website and to the department, income tax department, for assessment of its income. So this account number is again unique to each company.
Okay.
Based on this, you can open a bank account.
So to open a bank account, I need my PAN and I need my certificate of incorporation. That's cool.
Yes.
So these are the steps. Then I open my bank account, which makes me officially ready actively to start.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the other tax requirements we have as a company? What is the next level?
GST comes into place.
Okay. Can we speak a little bit about GST? Because what is it stands for?
Goods and service tax.
Service tax. Okay.
So every manufacturing happens, any product sold, it is levied on that. Depending on what kind of product it is, it varies from 8% to 22%.
Okay.
20 to 23%. So that's where it is. And likewise for services.
Okay.
So that it's for taxation purposes. And this is usually comes under the domain of the states.
Under the domain of states.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So is there a lot of tax, different type of tax, or we have only GST as a centralized tax?
This is one. Then we have professional tax.
Oh, okay. There's another professional tax.
Yes, there are professionals who you employ in the company. So for them, professional tax is to be paid. Another registration, that's another compliance.
Totally different
Yes.
compliances.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And once we get our GST certificates,
Yes.
and then there are other compliances depend on our
Area of
business.
work. Yes.
Yes. And then we are almost ready.
Yes.
I guess after a company is incorporated in India, what is your suggestion to foreign companies to really consider further steps? What is that they have to really be careful? They shouldn't be like, okay, we are done. It's not like the end of the purpose. It's starting that moment.
Yes.
So when they start, what they should be very careful at from the beginning.
I feel at the same time of incorporating a company, we must have a blueprint of the compliances.
Oh, okay.
There should be a checklist, monthly compliances, quarterly compliances, annual compliances. So for that, we have company secretaries come into place.
Amazing.
So it's their role. They make sure that the company complies with all these requirements and periodically. And you need legal help for this purpose as well as company secretary, because any default imposes a penalty.
Okay.
And penalties in India, as per the Companies Act, are very heavy now.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a new information.
Yes.
So we have to be extra careful.
Yes.
But there we need, as you said, the guidance.
Yes.
So being foreigner is okay, but it's not an excuse. We are liable under Indian law.
And this is for all, anybody doing business in India.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true. Now, as incorporation part, we are very clear. But as you know, being a foreigner and doing a business in another country, there's a lot of times that we are not able to be in that country and present at that moment. And then the picture then to proceed with our work, or there's a litigation and I'm abroad. The biggest challenge we have to have an understanding on the Indian one system, legal system, which is very confusing, and I need a clarification from your end, which is, what is the difference between a power of attorney and a Vakalatnama? So, because in my country, in Turkey, if I have a litigation and a dispute as a person or as a company, I directly give my power of attorney to a lawyer. And then I'm literally out of that. So I don't have to go to court. I don't have to really, carry on. And everything can be submitted on behalf of me as a client by the lawyer, which is very different in India. So I would like to hear that from you.
In India, we need a Vakalatnama to authorize an advocate to represent a party in a court of law. Whereas a power of attorney is given to a person on behalf of the company to represent it in the court of law, to sign the documentation and to give evidence.
Okay.
So that is the difference. So power of attorney and Vakalatnama are not the same in India. Power of attorney, think of it as an extension of you to somebody. If I am not present, Halima can do this work on my behalf.
Okay.
That is power of attorney. Whereas Vakalatnama is, party is authorizing an advocate to represent it before a court of law.
So it is limiting the person only purely for the legal work.
Yes.
And he representing in hearings.
Yes.
In front of the court, in front of the judges. Then why still this is very hard for us to understand. Why still I need another person to involve in this? Because is there a conflict of interest over there? What is the reason?
This is how the legal infrastructure is.
Oh, interesting.
There's no confusion here.
I'm sure.
So, a company, say you are from Turkey, for some reason you are not available in India. So you give a power of attorney to Mr. X. So that Mr. X now becomes Halima. Now only Halima can sign and give evidence.
I got it.
That's it. So that Mr. X is power of attorney holder. But I am a qualified advocate. I represent you in a court of law. So I need a wakalat for that.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
So this is very important when we have a litigation in India. I understand for other works, other except the court's work.
Yes.
Except the litigations. Then power of attorney to another third person, understandable.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Anybody is above 18.
Yes.
And, they're eligible. Then anybody can be a power of attorney here.
Yes.
It all depends on internal decisions.
Yes.
But when it comes to courts, then another Vakalatnama has to be arranged either by the client directly or by the power of attorney holder.
Exactly. Got
We
it.
close the deal here
Yes.
now. So thank you very much. It was amazing to have you in this podcast and so much valuable information for us that you frame it already in our mind. You make an amazing roadmap for us. I would love to have last questions. What do you suggest foreigners when they want to consider India as a business destination?
Most welcome.
Thank you. So is it like welcoming for them?
It is. We are now more digital.
Okay.
Things have eased out a lot.
Okay.
So there is ease of business as long as you understand the infrastructure in which you're working.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namaste.
And thank you very much for watching us. This is BND Global Podcast. I'm Halima, your host. And this is where business meets network and India is your next destination. See you in the next episode.